Ladies and gentlemen, podcasting since 2005. You're listening to Gamertag Radio. With your hosts, podcaster Hall of Famer Danny Peña, the always opinionated Paris Lilly, and from outside of the norm, Peter Toledo. This is Gamertag Radio.
All right, welcome to Gamer Tag Radio, episode 1006. This is your host, Danny, and recording live here from New York City. Also joining me from all the way from Temecula, California, we have Paris Lilly. What's going on, Paris?
Good morning. Good morning, everyone that's in Twitch and listening on the podcast. It's we're in the dead times of gaming news, man. There's nothing. But while you're listening to this podcast, make sure to wash your hands, man, because this is no joke, man. Dude, I've been washing my hands, Paris, every few minutes. Every time I go out, come back, I am not playing around, dude. This coronavirus news is actually, it took over the whole gaming thing now, because we're going to be talking about that in a few minutes, but that's all I see right now. There's barely any like major gaming news. I mean, this month, there's a couple of games that I'm excited to play. Actually, in 2 days. Actually, by the time you listen to this, the new expansion for Division 2 is out. Warlords of New York. Shout out to Arctic. We were playing yesterday. Play a couple daily matches, daily challenges. But if you would like to be part of our clan, because we did some cleanup, because there was a lot of people not playing the game at all. So right now, I believe last time I checked, we had like between 29 to 30 members, so I think there's only like 20 spots available. So for the Xbox One, I don't know how it is for the PC or PlayStation 4, but just search for Gamertag Radio and join, and hopefully we could play some Warlords of New York. You know. Yep.
Also later this month is Doom Eternal, and I'm waiting for this Animal Crossing for the Nintendo Switch. Actually, this Thursday, tune in. I have a episode all about Animal Crossing. I recorded with Mandy a couple of days ago, so that's about it. So anything else, Paris?
No, I think that's about it, other than myself personally. I've been watching this YouTube series it's called Gaming Historian, and
we had him on our show.
Did we?
Yeah, dude.
This must have been before me. Yeah, this must have been way before me.
No. You were in.
Was I on that episode? Why don't I remember this?
No, you were not. It was just me.
Okay. That's why. But the point is, I've been watching his series, and I've just been watching the Nintendo stuff, and like I just watched the one on Rob the Robot. I was watching stuff on the making of Super Mario 3, like the Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo, all that stuff. Man, it's fascinating what you remember, but what the reality of it really was. Like I was telling you offline, I swore I played Mario 3 in the 80s, but it didn't come out in the United States until like 1990. It's like, I have no memory of this. I don't know why I don't remember that, but it's a fascinating trip down memory lane. But it also cements the one thing that I always say: Nintendo is the greatest developer of all time. We don't have any of this stuff right now without Nintendo. Like I was even watching the one on Mike Tyson's Punch Out and just the history of that and all that stuff. It's fascinating, and we owe so much to Miyamoto for gaming today. A lot of that stuff doesn't happen without Miyamoto, man. He innovated so much stuff in the 80s that translates, to where we are now. It's just fascinating. But that's been my week.
Yeah. No, it's good. I actually purchased his like a DVD, no, actually a Blu-ray that he released like 3 years ago. Pretty good, man. So shout out to him, man. Gaming Historian. Make sure to go to his YouTube channel. He has a lot of content there, man. Stuff that I'm like, oh my God, I totally forgot about this, man. So I had Gaming Historian on episode 666.
Wow, the devil.
The devil himself. Yeah, nah. But it was a great conversation. I'm a huge fan of his channel. I watch it all the time, and so, pretty cool. By the way, I know I posted this already on social media, but we are looking for help, donations. We're trying to go to E3 2020 this year, and our goal for this year is $2,000. And so far we have $333. Thanks to everybody that been donating for this, man. So even if it's $1, anything will help, because it will be a great way for us, not only for me, because I don't have a job right now. I'm doing this like full time with the GTR, but I'm trying to go there to LA, so there's flights, transportation, the most important thing, hotel, food, and so on. So anything you could do to donate, please go to donate.gamertagradio.com. That's donate.gamertagradio.com. And how many days we have here, Paris? I know you have it on the
I timed it to the Microsoft media briefing. So we got 98 days to go until that happens. And
Okay.
like you said, this would greatly help us out. For anything that you can provide, like Danny said, just hotel is probably the biggest expense, but obviously flying out from New York to LA, and then just we got to eat, all that stuff that goes into it. It's just bottom line it, just the reality of it. If you only want to see me go into E3, then don't donate, because that's what's going to happen, because I live here, so I could make it happen to where I could at least go. I have to fight LA traffic every day, but I could attend. But if we want to get Danny to attend so we can properly cover E3 the right way, anything that you guys can help with would be greatly appreciated. So yeah, just thank you to everyone that's already donated. We really appreciate it. And like I said, we got 98 days to go.
If you go back to E3 of last year and previous years, we don't play around with coverage. It's always 40 plus 50. I think the highest was like 57 episodes in 6 days. So we don't mess around when it comes to coverage. So if we had Paris there and it would be a lot better, great content. And we'll see what happens in the future. All right, so head over to gamertagradio.com. Listen to our past episodes. Also, you could go to, of course, twitch.tv/gamertagradio if you want to subscribe and support the video content there. Paris, you want to mention your YouTube channel? People could go over there and then subscribe.
Yeah, my URL is so dumb, so I ain't trying to explain it. But if you search my name, if you search Paris, Parris on YouTube, you'll find my YouTube channel. But the YouTube channel itself is youtube.com/C/Marcelo, MARCELLO 696. So if you search Marcelo 696 or Paris, you'll find me.
And if you have fan mail questions, feedback, this is how you can contact us.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
All right, so like we said earlier, the news is kind of low right now. It's not that much going on, man. So the good thing is, this is why I love when people send us questions, because we can start a conversation. So this episode is all going to be about fan mail. So it's time for fan mail. All right, Paris? I put it in order. What's up?
Well, I have the perfect one to start it off with.
Okay.
Wait,
what number is this?
Wait, hold on. I'm bringing it up now.
Yeah. Let's make sure. So when I edit.
Actually, you do have it. Yeah, you do have it as one. So perfect. All right, I'm going to play right now.
Okay.
What's up, guys? This is Caleb, aka Chubby Wubby from Orange County, and I want to talk to you guys about the coronavirus. Ever since this whole breakout, GDC has now been canceled. Mobile World Congress has now been canceled. The question is, do you think this will go all the way till E3 or maybe even longer? Because I just keep seeing more and more events being canceled, or more companies just pulling out of events due to concerns about the coronavirus. And I'm trying to stay hopeful for E3, but this still causes some concerns. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for that voicemail. And this probably just kicks off the conversation proper with the coronavirus. So it's canceling everything. Like, I know Danny and you and I had been talking about various events that we're going to be traveling to. I know an international event I was going to this week gone because of the coronavirus. That got canceled to a later date. Obviously, GDC, which was something that was also on the table for me, canceled. So that's not a possibility anymore either. And then he's obviously bringing up E3. We're officially on E3 cancel watch, because if this thing drags out into late May, companies aren't going to go. If they're not going to GDC, they're not going to bring their entire contingent out to LA, for E3. It's just not going to happen. So it is a real possibility right now that E3 could get canceled. And I know the ESA has not said anything. I'm sure everyone at this point is just hoping it goes away in the next few weeks. But I mean, we'll see, man. I mean, what do you think, Danny?
I mean, it's still early, and I was talking to Paris about this. I'm like, okay, let's go with a what if it goes all the way to the summer, and it's still going on, right? And the ESA cancel E3. Let's just make believe, right? What if? This year is going to be a very interesting year if that happens, because Sony is going to release PlayStation 5. Microsoft is going to release the new Xbox Series X, right? Companies are probably going to be releasing their new games like Cyberpunk 2077. That's later this year too. How in the world are they going to start promoting all this, man, without E3? The only thing I could come up with, and I know Paris mentioned this a couple weeks ago, straight to video. Just let the fans watch it live. I can see like Xbox doing Inside Xbox, PlayStation doing a state of the play, instead of having the traditional media event that they invite media from all over the world. Because look, if you check out the news, even flights are being canceled. Like, you can't even travel certain countries now because of the virus. I think right now the top countries where there's more cases of people with the virus is China, of course. I believe Italy, South Korea, and Iran.
Yep.
So, and there's still more people. Every day there's news of somebody else in a different country now with the virus. So I don't know, man. It's going to be a very interesting year to see what's going to happen, with all those changes, man.
Yeah,
so
it is. Yeah, definitely. No, go ahead. You were going to say one last thing.
No, I was saying that Microsoft, dude, as soon they said we're out GDC, I was like, oh man. Then Unity, I was like, well, it's a wrap. Like, who else is going to attend GDC because of this, So remember, this developers from all around the world that were planning to go to that event. And the thing that really bothered me, Paris, I'm going to talk about this, is GDC is not going to refund the money back to all these developers that have been working so much. Because look, if you're media, you get the passes, for free, or they're cheap, right? But if you're a developer attending that event, you have to pay a lot of money. Plus, hotel is expensive to go to San Francisco during that time.
Yeah, and that's where a lot of people are going to get screwed on this. I'm sure, I know the GDC we're delaying it, but I mean, I know there's a push going on right now to, try and get a lot of that stuff reimbursed on the GDC side, which I do think eventually will happen. But where I think people are going to get screwed is just the travel fees, plane ticket. If you got a non-refundable plane ticket, if you did something hotel wise where, you paid something up front, you can't cancel it now. I mean, that's where people are going to get screwed on a lot of stuff. And I've seen a lot of, developers and companies step up right now. They're kind of doing, like GoFundMe's, things like that, to try and recoup some of these costs. So if you do see some of those online and you want to contribute, absolutely do it. Because, yeah, man, these smaller developers, the indie developers, they don't have the war chest to be able to take a loss on this kind of stuff. They're literally budgeting out their funds for this year to be able to attend GDC, to be able to present their games and to go to these summits and things and network, to help them, grow their business, grow their game, get spotlight on their game, and they're going to get screwed out of all this. But I think bringing it back to the E3 side, I mean, the only logical thing that I can see coming out of this is, you're going to see just, direct streams, things like that, where they'll maybe do a live stream on Twitch or to do a video on demand on YouTube, stuff like that, to be able to talk about some of this stuff. But if E3 gets canceled, trust me when I say a lot of companies are going to get screwed over this. And man, I know we joke, oh, PlayStation's not there. A lot of people are bailing out, but there's still a lot of mid-tier to small publishers and developers that are going to E3 that need E3 still. So it's going to be interesting, man. I mean, Microsoft, PlayStation, Nintendo, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. We're still going to buy all their games and the consoles and all that kind of stuff. But it's the smaller studios that I'm concerned with that aren't going to potentially get the spotlight that they would have gotten because of a GDC or an E3 because of this coronavirus.
Yeah, and put it this way, guys. This virus is going around so much that there's even conversation of canceling the Summer Olympics in Japan. That's how serious
that's real,
this thing
man.
is.
It's real.
It's real. Yeah. So we'll see. Now, I know, Paris, we were mentioning that in case that both companies are going to start doing straight to video press conference from their studios. So they probably hire like an agency to do this. Now, closer to the launch of these consoles, because there's a couple of things that might happen too, Paris. We might even see less consoles made like in retail stores because the factories are all these factories are working on the manufacturing these consoles in China. So that's going to affect a lot of like it's going to remind me of like, remember when the Xbox 360 came out, there was like barely any consoles out at that time. Do you remember that?
Yeah, you know,
2005?
I do remember. Yep.
It was hard to find one, man. So we might see that with both, man.
And that's what I think. And I know we had another voicemail asking us about this. We'll probably play it anyways. But skipping ahead, I mean, that's going to happen. I mean, there's going to be shortages of consoles because of this. It's just a reality. All it takes is one part getting delayed. That's it. Yeah. One part because of this getting delayed, which will screw up everything as far as the manufacturing of these consoles. Because you got to think realistically, all the massive logistics that need to happen to make these consoles, all that stuff is already happening, and that's being delayed right now. So yeah, we're going to see some kind of shortage. There's not going to be store shelves stocked with consoles this holiday. I mean, I know people might joke, why anybody buying an Xbox anyways, right? Or something like that. But the reality is, if you want to get a Series X or a PlayStation 5 this holiday, as soon as those pre-orders go live, you better pre-order it, because I guarantee you're going to be able to walk in a store in November and go get one because of this coronavirus.
Yep. And I think this is when multiple companies are going to depend a lot of the influencers, content creators to talk about their products through their channels, because nobody's going to go to these events, and it probably will depend on them. Like, they probably will send a copy of a game or a product like, hey, here, review it, talk about it. I mean, it's not going to be a lot, but maybe a very small percentage of that.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I just, even on a personal level, obviously I've doing this PC build and Cyberpunk got delayed. I was like, there's no urgency for me to build that thing out now. I can wait until the summer. Man, F all that. I was like, you know what? Let me get all the parts I need now. Because who knows, dude? Who knows? There might be a shortage on something in the summer, and now all of a sudden I can't build my PC. So yeah, I've just went ahead and made sure I got everything now. I was like, screw it. Might as well build it out now just in case. And it's a direct result of this coronavirus.
Yeah. All I want is for those who are listening, man, just take care of yourselves.
Yep.
Wash your hands. Be careful what you eat or drink in the street. Like, just be careful, man, because this is no joke, man. Like, the first person that already died here in the U.S., did you know that our friend Krista, that used to work at Microsoft, her daughter was born in that same hospital that person passed away?
Yeah, I saw her talking about that on Twitter. Yeah, it's crazy.
She said it was like 5-6 miles away.
Yeah,
from where she lives now. You know, so you never know, man. Never know. And look, this is even could go further to like Gamescom, PAX West, Comic-Con. Like, you never know, man.
Bottom line,
No,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah, you're 100% right. If we're still talking about the coronavirus in the summer, consider all that stuff canceled. No one's traveling to that stuff. It just why risk it? It's not worth it.
All right, go with the next voicemail.
All right, here we go. Voicemail number 2.
Hey, this is Jason, also known as Running Late. I got a quick question about pricing. I know we weren't going to talk about it much, but this is my question. I know that the coronavirus is going to affect the production of the PlayStation and the Xbox. My question to you guys is, do the companies keep their pricing the same and then just have less systems? Or do they just push the date back of all their systems and roll from there? Thanks.
All right. Thank you for that voicemail. Yeah, like you said, we kind of talked about this a little bit already, but no, I don't think the pricing of these consoles will change. There's just going to be a shortage of them, due to this coronavirus. Because like I said, all it takes is one part getting delayed and not being manufactured because, basically, let's be real, the majority of the stuff is being made in China, not getting made because of the virus. And now that just halts production on everything while you wait for that part to get manufactured. So no, I don't think the pricing changes. I don't think the messaging or anything over this summer changes as they announce this stuff. But whatever their launch date is, let's just, again, pretend. Let's just say they were going to have 5 million PlayStation 5s ready at launch. Now they might only have 2 million. Now they might only have 1.5 million. So the demand is going to be high. What you will see, just speaking of pricing, because the demand will be higher for these consoles because you won't be able to easily get them. Woo, man, the resale market, the eBay market, my God, you're going to probably see PlayStation 5s and Series X's going for like $1,000+ because they're going to be in demand. People are going to try and profit off of this stuff. 100% guaranteed that's going to happen. Look at my crooked mind thinking of it right now. Like, maybe I should try and get one resale too. But
some extra cheddar.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what I'm saying. So it's,
no, I agree.
Yeah, that's totally going to happen. But no, I don't think the retail price will change at all.
No, I don't see that. But here's the positive side from that. We don't know much about the PlayStation 5. We're still waiting about what type of features and all that stuff in the future. We'll probably find out about that very, very soon from Sony. But let's just say, Paris, we barely can find any Series X. At least we could play Halo Infinite on PC, current consoles. Like, we're not gonna miss out. So if let's just say PlayStation 5 is like when you if you have the system, then you could play the exclusives, and if you don't have a system, you can't play the exclusives, then that's gonna hurt. That's something like, oh damn, I gotta wait. That because I remember when I purchased the PlayStation 4, dude, it took me months to actually find it. It was like hard to find, really hard to find. I actually bought a PlayStation 4 by the time Infamous came out for that system. Months after the launch of the system.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's gonna be challenging, man. It's gonna be a crazy challenge, man. So, all right, go with the next voicemail.
Let's do voicemail. All right, you have this listed as voicemail. Okay, I'm doing them in order. So, voicemail 3. Here we go.
Hi, fellas. My name's Jose. I'm calling from California, Manteca area, Central Valley. Big fan of you guys. Been listening to you for about 2 years now. I'm a mailman, so daily I listen to you guys' podcast, and it's just really cool. You guys sound like really laid back, informed fellas. I just like to have a good time. I appreciate you guys' show, honestly. It's cool to listen to fellow gamers, just chit-chat and give every platform and company a fair chance. You guys highlight everybody, and you don't really, pick one over the other. I just listened to your podcast with Phil Spencer. That was amazing. I'd have been freaking out. You guys did a great job, and don't want to keep this too long, but what was the very first game you guys played as a child? What do you remember? Again, my name's Jose. Thank you so much for you guys' podcast. It's really cool, and have a good day. Bye.
Hey, thank you for that voicemail. Thank you for the kind words. And the first game, I was like racking my brain on this because I know it was before the Atari 2600. I can 100% tell you Atari 2600, first game I ever played was Combat. That I know. But I feel like I played like some version of Breakout or Pong. Before that, we're talking the 70s here. We're talking like late 70s, probably like 77, 78 up in there. Just a very vague memory I have. I remember, and I want to say it was like that Sears knockoff Atari system. I feel like I played something like Pong, But I know when I got an Atari 2600, first game I ever played was Combat. What about you?
Well, when my grandmother bought me an Atari 2600, as a console, my first game was Defender. Remember Defender?
Yeah. Oh, dude, arcade. I used to play an arcade all the time.
That was my game. And now we also played a lot of like cheap handheld games that they had, like from Nintendo. Released a couple. I think it was Game Watch. I think it used to be called. And there was also like these like small mini arcades that you could play Donkey Kong. I think they even had Popeye, Pac-Man, like those type of games. But console was Defender, and then after that was like the cheap bootleg version of Pac-Man, which is not the official Pac-Man for the Atari 2600. Yeah, it was horrible. Was horrible, man.
Now we're going down memory lane. This isn't the first game or everything, and this used to get me in school. I used to go late to school because when Pac-Man was in the arcade, like the 7-Eleven that was up from my house, they had Pac-Man, and I was obsessed with it. And I would, before school, I used to take my lunch money and blow it on Pac-Man, right? And then eventually I got busted and I got in trouble or whatever. My mom had to stop. But it was Pac-Man I would do. But the other game, and I swear I'm shocked that this game has not come back in some form because it was so fun back in the day. Did you ever play Popeye?
Oh, dude, I just mentioned right now.
Oh, yeah, my bad. You did. My bad. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, my bad. But
Yo, I love Popeye. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, my God. I used to spend so many hours just wasting quarters playing that game. I freaking loved Popeye. I'm just so shocked that they've never brought that back.
But you know what? Popeye was like a little bootleg version of Donkey Kong. If you
it was. 100% it was. It totally was.
You know, so like now thinking about it, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on a second. Yeah.
Now, speaking of Donkey Kong, another vivid memory I have. So I went to the 1982 World's Fair in Knoxville, Tennessee, right? And I just remember that summer, you know, with my parents, you know, my sister, we drove like all over the East Coast, like up all the way, you know, up to New York, all the way. I think we went to like New Hampshire, down to Ohio. But then as we're coming back down, we went to the 82 World's Fair. So at some point in that, at a hotel we stayed at, in 82, it was like some Sheraton somewhere. But I remember, you remember how in the hotels, they got like the little arcades inside the hotel? I remember going in there, and that was the first time I ever saw Donkey Kong. And I was hooked immediately. Like that's just one of my, you know, gaming changing moments of playing Donkey Kong and just how at the time revolutionary that was. And I was just hooked. But the other thing with the 82 World's Fair, they had a Pac-Man Expo at the 82 World's Fair. And I remember, again, I don't know why I'm saying all this stuff, but I remember my parents thought that I was lost because I just went to the Pac-Man Expo and I stayed there the whole time. And so they couldn't find me. Yeah, I was at the 1982 World's Fair. I was lost. But to me, I wasn't lost. 82, God, I had to have been like 9. I was like 9 years old. Yeah.
Wow, that is crazy.
But see, I wasn't lost because I knew where I was. I was at the Pac-Man Expo, but they couldn't find me for hours because I just stayed there playing Pac-Man the whole time. Oh, yeah. See,
you know, I was going to mention that I remember playing this game too, Burger Time.
Yes, Burger Time. I remember that. Wasn't that on the Intellivision? I've seen.
Was it ColecoVision
or was it? Or maybe it was ColecoVision. Maybe that was ColecoVision. I just remember I didn't have it, but a friend had it, and I would go over his house and play Burger Time. Yeah, I think it was ColecoVision. I think you're right.
Yeah. Yo, let me tell you, man. Like playing Atari, and then I'm going to my friend's house, and he's like, "Oh, let me show you my console."
Yeah.
ColecoVision. I'm like, "Oh my God, it has color."
Yes.
Yeah. Wait, you could put codes? Yeah, I remember all that stuff.
Oh, dude. See, I mean, you know, gaming has obviously changed so much now that the arcade, you know, it doesn't have the relevance that it does anymore. There's still arcades around, but the way that even the games are played now are completely different back then. But like we mentioned, Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, Popeye. There was a game called, oh my God, why am I blanking on the name now? It was like a war game. I'll come back to it, but just the whole point of what I'm making, like, remember Zaxxon, Defender, Qbert, these Frogger, all these games that were in the arcade, dude, it was like magical. I remember on Saturdays, I would take the bus, I would get like $10 worth of quarters, take the bus, and go to the arcade at Tyrone Square Mall in St. Petersburg, Florida, and I would be in there all day. That was like the highlight of my weekend, was in those early 80s playing all those arcade games, man. And then the NES just changed it all. I mean, Atari 2600 was around, but like you said, graphically, it just wasn't that good compared to the arcade. But the NES was when it got close to being as good as the arcade, and that just changed everything, man. Never forget it.
Just remember this, man. I remember we'll go to like a arcade spot, right? And let's say Street Fighter. Yo, and you're next. You put your quarter right there, right? Right for the screen. I'm like, yo, I'm next. I used to do that a lot, man. Like, and play with a lot of people, man. And I even posted this a couple of days ago on Twitter. Like, what was your first wow moment? Yeah. Man, I got a lot of interesting response, man. Like, a lot. And to me, I think the 90s was like, yo, it can't get better than this. That was my mentality back in the 90s, because having an arcade game like Street Fighter 2 now playable on your Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo, that's it. It's like, yo, it's a wrap. Why you don't need to go to the arcades. You could play this now at home with your friends, man. Like, and then Mortal Kombat came out. I'm like, oh my God, look at the graphics.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
I remember the game now. It was called Frontline. And
I remember Frontline.
Yeah, you're like that soldier, and you could jump in the tanks. Oh my God, dude. Yeah. All day arcade. I just give them all my money playing that game. I just freaking loved it. Yeah, those were so good. You know which game I used to play with my stepfather, that we would go to like the bodegas, the grocery stores here in New York when I was a kid? Pro-Am. You remember Pro-Am? From Rare made that game. It's available on Rare Replay. Pro-Am. So was that like
it's like a little cars. No, it was like little cars, little mini cars, and it's like racing.
I don't think I play. I don't remember that.
Look up Pro-Am. Look up
Pro-Am.
I
have to look it up.
You'll see. But it's very, very classic game, man. So.
Oh, yo, what about Spy Hunter? Remember that?
Oh, I remember Spy Hunter.
Dude, with the music.
You did the oil. The oil.
Yeah. You do the oil. Oh man, yeah.
Yo, that was amazing.
But see, this is what I'm saying. I mean, we're obviously older now, but that's what cemented gaming for me. Like back then, those arcade days, and then just going into the NES, that just locked it down. Like I was even saying earlier, watching that Gaming Historian, I remember playing Punch-Out in the arcade. So then when it came to the NES, oh dude, that was that. Plus you had Mike Tyson, day one. I'm in.
Yeah,
got to get it. Oh,
it was cool.
So really freaking good, man. So good. Yeah, all right, dude, we can talk about this forever. Yeah, so we're going to the next one.
Yeah, we'll be here forever. All the young folks like, what the hell are they talking about?
What are y'all talking about?
Yeah, boomers. Okay, boomer.
Oh, man.
You're listening to Gamertag Radio.
Are we going to continue here, Gamertag Radio Fan Mail Edition? But first, our sponsor, Netgear. Is your Wi-Fi feeling old? Does it buffer while streaming? Does connecting new devices slow it down? Can it handle gaming, video calls, large file transfers? And what happens when you try to do it all at once? It doesn't matter how fast your connection is if your Wi-Fi router is old and outdated. With Orbi Wi-Fi 6 from Netgear, your Wi-Fi will feel new again. Wi-Fi 6 is the latest tech that allows more devices to connect and stream simultaneously without impacting speed and reliability. The result delivers the fastest Wi-Fi for all your devices anywhere in your home. Stream in HD, 4K, or even 8K without buffering. Eliminate lag while gaming and connect more devices to your Wi-Fi than ever before. Orbi Wi-Fi 6 is like upgrading your Wi-Fi to first class. If you're ready for Netgear's best Wi-Fi ever, you can get it today from Netgear and never worry about Wi-Fi again. Check out Orbi Wi-Fi 6 at your local Best Buy or at netgear.com/best Wi-Fi. That's netgear.com/best Wi-Fi. We thank Netgear for sponsoring Gamertag Radio.
This is Gamertag Radio. Voicemail at 786-2737-GTR.
All right, so here's an email. This is from Ivan from all the way from the Boogie Down Bronx. He's like, hey, GTR, Love the work you guys do. I recently had bought my son a Pokemon Sword and Shield Switch Lite for Christmas. He loved it. Unfortunately, 2 weeks ago, it was stolen from him. He put it down on the table and placed with some kids. When he came back, it was gone. There were no cameras, so we never found out who it was. Anyway, my question is, do you think Nintendo will implement a security option like how Apple does with their iPhones? Only other options I can think of is to attach your tile tracker to it. Thank you for everything, guys. Peace. First of all, Ivan, thank you, man. It sucks that this news about your Nintendo Switch got stolen. That's pretty sad, man. Really sad. But I know this situation happened with my brother too. His Nintendo Switch got stolen. So what he did, he had to contact Nintendo, and because this person was still using his account and trying to buy games because his credit card was already attached to his account. So Nintendo did some stuff behind that whole security stuff, whatever. They removed their account from that system, and he couldn't go and log in anymore and buy the games. So that person had to create their own brand new account to do that. So I just don't see Nintendo doing anything like Apple. I just don't see it at all, man. They're very weak when it comes to that stuff, man. So Paris,
no,
what
I mean, being on the the tech nerd side for just a second, Nintendo just simply doesn't have the infrastructure that Apple has to be able to implement those kind of security features on basically a gaming console. So plus the fact that you can use your Nintendo Switch offline for extended periods of time, it'd be very hard to track down a stolen device just in that nature. Whereas like an iPhone, as an example, is online 95% of the time that you're using it, so it's easier to do Find My iPhone and track those things down. So like you kind of said, really the only solution right now was put one of those tile trackers on it. If theft is that big of a concern to you, unfortunately, I mean, Nintendo's response to you is going to be, oh well, go buy another one, right?
Yeah.
So unfortunately, but just reality of what it is. Like, yeah, they just don't have the infrastructure to be able to support something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you could put it off with a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One. Nintendo, not so much. I don't know. Like, I think now they just added that where you could re-download like your games and everything. But once your device is stolen, like, it's a wrap. It is. Gone. Yeah, and of course they have cloud save if you have Nintendo Switch Online.
Mm-hmm.
So there's another email here. This is from a new fan. I want to read this because, he just wanted to give us props, but it's not a question. This is from Eric. Hey, y'all, the podcast is large. The podcast world is so large. So sadly, I never got into yours. Luckily, the guys at the CADcast, that's a cheap-ass gamer, mentioned that you had Phil on your 1,000th episode. Congratulations, by the way. I had to hear it. It always seemed like such a straightforward, honest person, despite his title. The whole reason I'm writing to you is that what he said about you and all being fair with your opinions and how he accepts and appreciate that. I love hearing that from someone in his position. I'm sure he wouldn't have shown up if he didn't believe that. I love that episode, and you got a new subscriber because of it. I'm rolling on to the next one right now. Again, congratulations on a huge episode. A milestone, and look forward to hearing from you all. Thanks, Eric, for listening, man, subscribing, man. So pretty cool. We got a lot of new listeners because of it, man, because of that episode. And shout out to the whole crew over there at Cheap Ass Gamer, man. Shout out to them, man. And thanks for giving us a shout out, man. GPD, we got to meet up, man. He lives locally here in New York too. So, all right, we have another voicemail. Paris?
Yes, we have one more, and I'll give everyone 5 guesses on who it is, but I'm sure you know literally the most. I'm not even going to say it. I'm just going to play it. Here we go.
What's going on, Gamer Tag Radio? You brothers are absolutely amazing, and I hope you guys are having a great day. This is Keon calling from Baltimore. Man, we just got some amazing news today, brothers. I'm sure you guys are aware. Microsoft has officially announced that the Xbox One Series X will have 12 teraflops of power. I think this is absolutely amazing. They also released a lot of other information as well. the pause, resume of a game, being able to, you'll be able to pause it and come back to it at a later date. I mean, a lot of things were confirmed that we had heard rumors about. So my question to you guys is, Microsoft, they are really doing what they said. Phil said they were going to be aggressive. They were going to be bold. And we can definitely see that Microsoft is being that right now. But my question to you guys is, how does Sony respond? It's interesting to me that Sony has been very, very quiet, whereas during this whole generation, at every turn that Microsoft tried to announce some news, Sony was there to stop it with one of their announcements. But lately, Sony has been quiet. Now, I'm not saying that Sony needs to necessarily react because they are the market leader, but you have to believe that Sony is looking at this and saying, what the world can we do? They're pulling out of all of these events. Anyway, I don't want to get long-winded, but that is my question. How do you guys think that Sony will respond to this news that Microsoft continues to drip feed us? And it's great. It's great news. I mean, anyway, that's the question. You guys are absolutely amazing again. And with that being said, you guys take care, and thank you guys for all of the hard work. Bye-bye.
So I want to say thank you to our unofficial co-host of Gamertag Radio, Keon. He's like the fourth Beatle. He's that Beatle that you never knew was a part of the team. But he leaves us voicemails a lot, and we appreciate it. And I'll say this too, and I'm sure do you agree with this, Danny? Keon is the only person that can go that long on a voicemail, and we're still going to play it. No one else. So nobody else do that. It's too long. But you know, his question. I mean, we've obviously talked about this a lot. No one has any idea what Sony's going to do at this point. I do think the coronavirus thing now plays a factor in their strategy, because were they going to have an on-site presence somewhere where they invited the media, international media, everyone? Maybe they don't do that now because of the coronavirus. Maybe they do a state of play. We have no idea how they're going to announce this thing. We just simply don't know, other than what they've already done with Wired Magazine and the logo at CES. They are the great unknown. They are the variable in all of this. It's been great to see that Microsoft has been very aggressive and bold with their messaging and getting things out extremely early and being open, talking about the new hardware and their strategy. That's great. But I'm going to be real with you, Danny. PlayStation can shut all that down with one simple press conference announcing PlayStation 5, here's the hardware, look at all these games that we got, and here's the price. And then that just takes away all the momentum of what Microsoft does. Because like Keon said, they are the leaders in this space. That is just not a question. Microsoft has been playing catch up since the start of the past generation, and they've still not caught up yet because PlayStation has such a strong exclusive lineup that it demands that you go buy their hardware to go play their games. Now, it looks like that strategy may be changing slightly. We'll see. But I just think their rogues gallery of games, if the price is right with the hardware, the features are there, and they continue to bring this kick-ass lineup of games, I don't see anything really changing with them, to be honest with you, no matter how they roll out this PlayStation 5. But what do you think?
I think that, you know what? I don't know. I want to wait and see, man, because look, if you go back to the history of like all the launches from like PlayStation games and PlayStation consoles, they haven't really, like, I'm talking about launch only. Forget about after launch, just launch day. They have never had a really good launch titles ever that I know of. Hopefully this would change maybe with Horizon Zero Dawn 2. That might come out, right, for launch. That's the rumor, right? Or launch window. I don't know. I'm kind of like a wait and see, because I don't want to just get excited just because it's just PlayStation. Now, I want to mention this because Keon also sent me like a private message a couple days after that, the rumor about the teraflops versus like Xbox and PlayStation. And he was like, man, you think Sony should be worried? I'm like, no, because the rumor is Sony supposedly has like 9 point something and Xbox is 12. And I'm like, dude, at the end of the day, who give a crap about power, man? It's all about the launch titles, man. Launch titles, that's it. Games. It's not about how much power of the system. See, like the previous, for this generation, when Xbox One came out, dude, that's what everybody was talking about. And when people were saying, look, power doesn't matter, then they will say, oh no, but that's fanboy-ish. But in reality, it's all about the games, man. Because look at Nintendo. Nintendo Switch is not that powerful at all. And it has a great library of games, man. And now you get to see games like third-party games like The Witcher and so on. So just want to mention that very quick. Power doesn't really matter to me, in my opinion. But yeah, Paris, the thing that I want to know is price and games for PlayStation and Xbox. That's about it. I mean, we kind of know with Halo Infinite, but what else they're going to have besides that? We don't have no idea from Sony.
Yeah, we have no idea. And that's the thing. They're clearly keeping their messaging close to the vest at this point. I would assume we're going to hear something here in the next month or two. But until we do, we just simply don't know. Everything is just speculation at this point. Yeah. So we just
we have to mention this, Paris. Smart delivery from Xbox. We haven't had a chance to talk about that at all.
Yeah, I mean, the reality of that is it's a nice marketing term, but they're already doing it. They do it right now with the Xbox One and Xbox One X. You get smart delivery on that now. So really nothing's changing. I guess it's good to hear them officially make that point. And we did talk about this a little bit on Daily Conversation because, I mean, obviously CD Projekt Red followed up on that and basically said as a third-party publisher, they're doing that with Cyberpunk. If you buy Cyberpunk on Xbox One, you're good for Series X as well as far as any enhancements and updates that they make. They're going to not make you double dip. It does put pressure on PlayStation and other third-party publishers to do the same. I think PlayStation does something similar personally, but I wouldn't hold my breath for Take-Two, aka Rockstar, doing that with Red Dead Redemption 2. Because if you think they're not going to make you double dip with Red Dead Redemption 2, you crazy. They're gonna try and get their money, same as they've already done with Grand Theft Auto over and over. So I don't think every third-party publisher is going to follow suit with this, but I do think PlayStation will.
What about a company like Ubisoft? But
this is my point.
They're notorious about that.
I wouldn't hold my breath. That's my point. Would not hold my breath on Ubisoft following suit on that. I can easily see them putting out, again, pretend, an Xbox One, PlayStation 4 version of the new Assassin's Creed, and then turning right around in November and saying, yeah, you can get the PlayStation 5 and the Series X version as well. Another $60. I easily see that happening.
Yeah. Huh. I don't know. That doesn't because look, man, CD Projekt Red was like quick to mention that, like, oh, don't worry, you buy Cyberpunk 2077,
yeah,
you can still play an Xbox Series X.
Yeah, and that was planned. That clearly was planned. I mean,
of course,
CD Projekt Red knew that announcement was coming and was very quick to follow it up with what they had to say. So there is some strategy in all of this. Now, like Phil Spencer actually brought this up during the interview, but it begs the question, like we know the Division 2 Warlords of New York is about to come out, and obviously we've seen a resurgence of activity with Division 2, which is great. Destiny 2, obviously, things like that. So these kind of games, like Phil said, they exist now, and they're going to exist once the PlayStation 5 and the Series X comes out, right? So what does a Bungie and a Massive do? They clearly aren't going to make people have to rebuy the game. You should obviously, if I go get a Series X and I've already been playing Destiny 2, I shouldn't have to go buy a Series X version of it, right? It should just still be the same game. And maybe it does take advantage of certain aspects of the hardware, but there's no way they're going to want to splinter the community. They're going to want the same the entire community to continue to play together, which I think is a very smart thing Bungie should do this year. And we'll see if Massive does it as well. Crossplay, cross save is amazing. I love it, but cross play is the big get that they could do if they had all basically just one giant community playing together across PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. It would be amazing. Now that's where they could run into some problems, especially on the PC side, because PC you can obviously go 60 frames per second. There's things like that. But look, there's smarter people than me to figure that stuff out. But it'd be amazing to see crossplay just across all platforms for these kind of live service games. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be cool because I know people were like asking us, like, man, you guys sat down with the developers at Massive and didn't even ask that question. We did. They're not right now. They're not talking about it. They look behind the scenes. They're probably trying to see if this will work, but no comment from them, man.
Yeah, they're not. If it's a feature that's not ready to go, they're not going to comment on it yet because they don't want to make a promise that they potentially can't keep.
Exactly.
And they don't want to get people's hopes up. Hey, we're looking at it, and then it doesn't come. You guys said you were going to do it. It was like, no, we didn't. We said we're going to look at it.
A perfect example when Julian was on our show, when he revealed the game at E3. This was like E3 2018. He mentioned on our show that they were going to have multiple raids, and I know that probably he wasn't prepared to say that. Like, he wasn't supposed to say that on our show, and he just said it because we were just having a conversation. And that got picked up. And then there was only one raid that came out in 1 year instead of multiple raids. That's an example of somebody from a developer, producer, or whoever from the studio. There's certain things they're not allowed to talk about. And he probably said it by mistake. And now everybody's like, oh, man, but it was supposed to be multiple raids. That's the problem. They don't want to announce anything like crossplay because then people will flip out. Media will take that and twist the whole thing, man. You know? So that's the main reason. So anything else? I think that's about it, right?
No, I think that's it. Again, there's just not a lot of gaming news. I am excited for Ori to come out here in a couple of weeks. I guess that's the next big game to come out. Obviously, Warlords of New York is out. People listening to this will be out in like a day or two. One thing, let me address this because I want to say this because. And I hope he sees this because you know who you are. I saw a certain person. I'm saying this because I love him. But a certain person was on Twitter and was complaining. Yes, I'm saying complaining that Warlords of New York is basically coming out a day early on PC, on Uplay, versus on consoles. And he complained. And you know who you are. And the reason I'm bringing this up is you can't be upset at Massive, at Ubisoft for this. Go blame Xbox Live and PlayStation Network. It's a logistics thing. You're asking a third-party service to go day and date when Uplay is ready. Uplay, they control Uplay. They control the PC platforms. They can launch whenever they want. But they're at the mercy of Microsoft and PlayStation when it comes to launching on their platform. So that's why they're not all coming out at the same time. So yeah, I guess the PC users kind of quote unquote get rewarded a little bit because they get it earlier, but they shouldn't also, suffer just because the consoles. You got to think of it that way. You know what I mean? This is why I play on PC. PC's an open platform. These publishers and studios can do whatever the hell they want on PC. But when it comes to a third party being on a console, you're at the mercy of what Microsoft and PlayStation says you can do when it comes to launching those kind of games. So you know who you are. I love you. That's why I'm calling it out right now. So stop complaining because it ain't Massive's fault. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I don't know. Is this person a content creator?
Yes, this person is. Yes, this person is.
Okay.
This is someone I talk to a lot offline.
Oh, really?
I'm just teasing. I'm teasing him, but I saw him tweet that, and I'm like, I'm not going to say anything on Twitter because then people will take it and run with it and turn it into a negative. But you know who you are.
All right. By the way, I know Arctic mentioned this on the chat because I want to mention real quick. Fanny Star Online 2. Arctic, it's not official if the game is coming out this week or what, but hopefully we'll get to play it very, very soon. Look, Arctic even got hooked with playing Fanny Star Online 2, man. So yeah, can't wait to play that game once it comes out. And that one does have crossplay. So there you have it. We can play PC and Xbox. And I think they're going to be adding slowly PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, and so on. So, yeah.
Oh, one last thing for me. Well, a couple last things for me. But one other thing, Destiny 2, because obviously I've not talked a lot about that recently because I've been taking a self-imposed break. But I'm coming back because Trials is finally official, coming back for Season 10. For Destiny 2. So Trey and I are gonna be dusting off the sticks and start practicing so we can go to the lighthouse. But that's great news. But the thing that came out of this, which we talk about a lot of time, is providing feedback to the developer, respectful feedback. This is another great example of it because originally when Trials was coming out, they were going to say that, it's power enabled, but also artifact power was going to matter as well. And just a long story short, basically you can infinitely grind artifact power level. So if you just sit and play the game all day, you can be up to 999 power because you can just grind it out and get to that power level. that was a ridiculous advantage, especially in a game like Trials, where, you know, just because you can play all day and someone else can't play all day, you are going to potentially have an advantage. And when you're trying to go flawless and go to the lighthouse, I'll be damned if I get to the fifth match and now all of a sudden I'm going up against a crew that they're all 999 and I'm at, I don't know, theoretically 800 or something like that, right? That's ridiculous. Especially, it's not about skill at that point. It's about the fact that you got to play the game more than I did, which shouldn't be the advantage when you're doing something like Trials. So anyways, a lot of feedback from a lot of different personalities in the Destiny community. I even threw my 2 cents in there too. But the point is, it was all very respectful. And obviously Cosmo and DMG and Deej and all those guys over there were getting that feedback. They took it back internally. And then Luke Smith came out and said that, yeah, they're turning off that advantage right now until they can properly cap it, which is great. That's how it should be. Bungie listened to the community. The community showed they weren't happy about something and they reacted to it and they fixed the problem before it even became a problem, right? That's freaking great. Then Luke even obviously put out a director's cut just talking about some other things that they're changing with Destiny 2, which I won't go into detail here. But that's why I always say, man, not everything's going to be perfect in a game. But if you're going to give feedback, just be respectful about it. They're listening. I mean, you know, Massive, Division 2, all that, all these kind of games, they are listening. They may not be able to implement it the second that you say something, but you don't have to be an a-hole online and cursing out devs and death threats and all this other silly stuff that we've seen in the past. Just voice your opinion and do it in a constructive way of saying, I don't like this because, and then they'll take it back and turn it. Because trust me, I know for a fact, those guys bust their ass, the community people over at Bungie, and they take the feedback seriously and they relay it to the proper channels internally. So then that's all you can really ask for.
Yep, definitely. All right, so one more time. We're looking for donations for E3 2020. This is for me, actually, because I want to go to E3. You guys already know I don't play around when it comes to coverage. Post a lot of content. Last year was 47, I think it was. The year before, 57 episodes in 6 days. All right. So here's how you could donate, and this will help us out a lot, not only with travel, but also hotel, transportation, food for the week of E3. Go to donate.gamertagradio.com. That's donate.gamertagradio.com. Or to make it easier too, you could go directly to PayPal. Go to PayPal and send a donation through there too. PayPal@gamertagradio.com. That's and PayPal@gamertagradio.com. What's up?
And I will say, right as you're saying this, because we're live on Twitch, thank you, Kenny, for your $5 donation. I saw it come in right now, and it's actually reflected on the ticker. So thank you very much.
Yeah, very cool.
We appreciate it.
Very cool. Awesome, man. All right, so head over to gamertagradio.com. I'll post your comments and feedback. Listen to our past episodes. Share the content. Also, you can find us on any podcast app. Just search for Gamertag Radio. Subscribe, follow us, post a review, whatever you want to do. Go for it. Also, if you have questions and you want to be part of fan mail, here's how you can contact us.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
All right, so stay tuned to this Thursday. We're going to have a brand new episode all about Animal Crossing featuring Mandy, a.k.a. Lady Luck. Great conversation. Can't wait for that. Also, I'm going to be co-hosting Cheddar Esports on Tuesday, so you can watch it live on TV or Twitch or any other places, Twitter and Facebook and all places, YouTube. So that's about it. And that's it, Paris, from you?
One last thing, because I've talked about I'm building this PC, and I just want to again thank the companies out there that have supported me to help with this build. AMD, that I've already talked about, they sent me over their 3950X CPU, and they also sent me a Radeon 7 GPU as well. I also want to thank anyone live. If they see behind me, a lot of stuff is sitting behind me right now. But I also want to thank Seagate. They sent me over their brand new Fire CUDA gaming dock. It is a 4 terabyte gaming dock. I don't know how the hell I'm going to use this thing, but I'm going to figure it out. And it also uses Thunderbolt, but they also sent me their Fire CUDA 510, a 1 terabyte M.2 drive as well. So just as I'm amassing all these parts together, and then, Gigabyte, I just got my X570 Master motherboard. I have 64 gigabytes of RAM from G-Skill. It's just this thing is coming together, and I'm waiting on one final piece, which will arrive next week. Fractal Design is sending me over their brand new Define 7 XL case, and I will be using that to house my new PC build. And I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to put all this stuff on video and talk about it and show it. It'll probably be on YouTube and all that stuff when I get it going. But the build's going to happen, and it's going to happen here probably in the next week or so. I'm going to do it. Trey's going to help me, and it should be a lot of fun. And then we'll talk about it and go from there. And also NVIDIA, congrats to everyone that got that Cyberpunk GPU. I am not one of those people, and I completely understand why, but I had a lot of fun on social media talking about it, and I appreciate everyone that was tagging me on stuff. But, hey, I am a quote-unquote content creator, and that card is probably better suited in the hands of the community than me. I'll be okay. Let's put it that way. I'm not too concerned. But I had a lot of fun just with the contest over the last week. So congrats to everyone that got the cards.
It's all good. And I know people are going to be like, oh, man, it's all good, man. It's all good. Honestly, I'd rather see people that are not content creators.
No, I agree. And I agree. Look, selfishly, I want the damn card. Let's not get that twisted. But I completely understand why, it would. Because look, I'm talking, and my dog agrees. I'm talking about AMD and all these companies sending me stuff. But wow. Speaking of Amazon, it's Amazon. Amazon's sending me something right now. And my wife's going to be pissed that the dog's barking. But anyways, we get things sent to us by companies for review and all that stuff all the time. So trust me, I am fine. But hey, it was a fun contest. It was the only way I was going to be able to get that card. So of course I threw my name in the hat. And if anything, I am just very thankful to everyone that tagged me and just all the kind words that were on social media, because, a lot of people say, hey, Cyberpunk, they thought of me. So it's very humbling and such an honor to have that. But I'm going to be okay. Trust me, September, I'm going to be okay. I just want the game. So.
Hey, at least you have your dog backing you up, man. He's like, man, you should have gotten the card. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Ruff, 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 ruff. All right.
Yep. So I'm probably going to get a divorce. So we might as well get this over, because she's going to come down. Why the hell is the dog barking? What are you in there doing? That's what she's going to say.
It's all good. All right. So we're going to wrap it up here, guys. Brand new episode this Thursday. And also, I'm going to be in Orlando. I'm going to be speaking over there at Podfest, 2 events, Cinemavos and also Sports PodCon. So for more information, hit me up, Danny at gamertagradio.com, and let's meet up over there in Orlando. All right. I fly there on Thursday, the 5th. All right. Until next time, we're out. Peace.
Thanks for listening to Gamertag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.